They disrespected you? Good. Now you win without losing yourself. You walk into a room and suddenly someone talks over you. Another person rolls their eyes. Someone even laughs when you make a valid point. It burns, doesn't it? That instant feeling of injustice. That spark in your chest telling you to shout back, to prove them wrong, to demand respect now. But here's a Stoic truth that Marcus Aurelius lived by. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In today's world, disrespect is everywhere, from social media trolls to workplace bullies. But what if I told you that their disrespect is actually your training ground? Today, we're going to explore 5 Stoic ways to handle people who don't respect you without losing yourself. Part 1. Own your reaction. Picture this. You walk into your workplace, confident, ready to contribute. But before you even finish your sentence, someone cuts you off. Another person sighs loudly, rolls their eyes, and mutters something under their breath. A wave of heat rises in your chest. Your instinct? Snap back, defend yourself, prove them wrong. But here's the question. Does reacting immediately bring you closer to the life you want? Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, faced far greater disrespect. Betrayal by senators, gossip by citizens, even revolts by generals. Yet in his journal, later called the Meditations, he wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This is where we begin, owning your reaction. The science of pausing. Modern science agrees with Marcus. A 2019 Harvard Business School study found that people who pause before reacting reduce conflict escalation by 42% and increase the chance of resolving disputes peacefully by 31%. Why? Because pausing engages the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, instead of letting the amygdala, your fight-or-flight center, hijack your behavior. When you immediately react, you surrender control to someone else's behavior. When you pause, you reclaim power. You choose how you show up, not them. A real-life story. Consider Sarah, a project manager in a fast-paced tech company. One day in front of her entire team, her boss said, "This plan is amateur at best." She felt humiliated. The old Sarah would have argued back, made excuses, maybe even cried in the restroom. But Sarah had been studying Stoicism for months. She took a deep breath, paused, and replied, "I hear your concerns. Can we review specific points so I can improve?" The result? Her boss apologized privately later for being harsh, and Sarah earned a reputation for calm professionalism under pressure. That single pause changed her career trajectory. Why pausing works. Disrespect thrives on reaction. People who disrespect you often look for emotional triggers. Your reaction feeds their power. Calm confuses aggression. A calm response often diffuses tension because it removes the emotional fuel from the interaction. Time creates perspective. That 5-second pause lets you ask, does this really matter? In 24 hours, most insults mean nothing. Historical example, Marcus Aurelius versus Achaemenides. There's a story about Marcus Aurelius being insulted publicly by a philosopher named Achaemenides, who accused him of being weak and unfit to rule. Marcus didn't retaliate. He simply thanked him for pointing out areas where he could improve. Centuries later, who do we remember? Not Achaemenides. We remember Marcus, the man who owned his reactions and embodied resilience. Famous quotes to remember: 1. Epictetus, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." 2. Viktor Frankl, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." 3. Maya Angelou, "You can't control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." Practical exercise, 90-second rule. Step 1, pause. When you feel disrespected, don't speak for 90 seconds. Just breathe. Step 2, name the emotion. Say to yourself, I feel angry, I feel humiliated, I feel hurt. Step 3. Choose intention. Ask, what outcome do I want? Calmness, respect, clarity? Step 4. Respond, don't react. Speak slowly, calmly, and briefly. Challenge. This week, practice the 90-second rule 3 times. Write down what happened, how you felt, and the result. You'll be amazed how quickly your emotional control improves. The hidden benefit, emotional energy savings. According to the American Psychological Association, people who regulate emotional reactions save up to 27% of mental energy each day. That's energy you can invest in creative work, strategic thinking, or simply enjoying life. Every moment you don't waste on petty conflicts is a deposit in your life bank account. Key takeaway for part 1. Disrespect is an event. Your reaction is a choice. When you own your reaction, you turn every insult into a test of strength. You stop being a puppet controlled by other people's behavior and start being the director of your own emotional state. End teaser. And once you control your reaction, what's next? You learn to build protection, clear, healthy boundaries without building walls. That's what we explore in part 2. If this first Stoic lesson resonates with you, hit like so we know you value calm power over chaotic reactions. Comment below. When was the last time pausing changed your outcome? And don't forget to subscribe, because part 2 will show you how to set boundaries that command respect without conflict. Part 2. Set boundaries, not walls. Imagine this. You're at work, and someone constantly interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, or even jokes at your expense. Maybe it's a family member who crosses lines you never agreed to. Your instinct might be to either explode, slam doors, yell, or retreat, shutting everyone out. But there's another way. Boundaries, not walls. Stoic philosophy teaches us not to shut the world out, but to guide how the world interacts with us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man should stand erect, not be kept erect by others." Boundaries keep you upright, strong in your values, while walls keep you isolated. Today, let's explore how to set boundaries that protect your peace without killing connection. Why people fear boundaries. Many people fear setting boundaries because they think it makes them selfish or unkind. Yet research from the University of California shows that people who set clear boundaries experience 29% lower stress levels and 35% higher life satisfaction. Why? Because boundaries create clarity. People know what you will and won't tolerate. Without boundaries, resentment builds like rust on metal. It slowly corrodes relationships until they break. Real life story, Alex's transformation. Alex, a young marketing executive, hated conflict. His colleagues constantly piled extra work on him. He smiled, said yes, but inside he burned out. One day he stumbled upon a Stoic quote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Marcus Aurelius. He realized saying yes when he meant no was dishonest to himself. He started small. "I'd love to help, but I can't take extra projects this week." The first time it felt awkward, but something incredible happened. People respected him more, not less. In 6 months, Alex reported 40% fewer late-night work hours and a 25% boost in productivity. Boundaries didn't push people away. They drew respect closer. Historical example, Marcus Aurelius and the Senate. Marcus Aurelius faced senators who openly opposed him. Yet instead of shutting down the Senate or ruling with fear, he created boundaries. Clear rules of conduct, accountability, and dialogue. His approach allowed Rome to maintain its legislative body while still protecting imperial authority. That's the Stoic lesson: strength with fairness, firmness with openness. Famous quotes 1. Seneca. Associate with people who may improve you. Welcome those whom you can improve. The process is mutual. 2. Brené Brown, modern researcher on vulnerability. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. 3. Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, meaning live your boundaries instead of just talking about them. How to set boundaries without building walls. 1. Know your values. Boundaries must come from values, not ego. Ask, what matters most to me? If honesty, peace, and growth are core values, boundaries should protect them. 2. Communicate clearly and calmly. Instead of accusing, you always interrupt me, use clarity. I'd like to finish my point before you respond. Calm tones prevent defensive reactions. 3. Stay consistent. Boundaries work only if enforced consistently. Inconsistency sends mixed signals, leading people to ignore your limits. 4. Avoid overprotection. Walls block even good things, opportunities, friendships, growth. Boundaries should protect from harm, not isolate from life. Practical exercise, the boundary blueprint. Take 10 minutes to create your own boundary blueprint. Step 1. Write down 3 areas where you often feel disrespected: work, family, social media. Step 2. Identify one behavior you will no longer tolerate in each area. Example: I won't respond to texts after 9 p.m. Step 3. Write down how you'll communicate it calmly. Example: I value our conversations, but I don't respond to work texts after 9 p.m., so I can rest and be productive tomorrow. Step 4. Practice saying it out loud 3 times today. This exercise builds confidence so that when real-life moments come, you won't freeze. Advanced exercise, the yes-no map, draw a line down a paper, left side yes, right side no. Write down things you will say yes to because they align with your values, e.g. meaningful work, supportive people, personal growth. On the right, write no to things draining your energy, e.g. gossip, last-minute demands, disrespectful tone. Keep this map visible for 1 week. Every decision, check the map. Over time, this rewires your brain to naturally enforce boundaries. If this Stoic lesson on boundaries resonates with you, tap like right now. Comment below, what's one boundary you will set this week? And subscribe because in part 3, we'll go deeper into letting go of ego, the silent killer of inner peace. Part 3, don't let ego drive you. What hurts the most when someone disrespects us? Is it really their words or is it our ego? Think about it. Someone says, "You're not good enough." Suddenly your chest tightens, your heart races, and you feel the need to prove them wrong. That's ego talking, not your true self. Epictetus reminded his students over 2,000 years ago, if someone speaks ill of you, live so that none will believe him. This is the third Stoic lesson. Don't let ego drive you, because ego wants to win arguments, but wisdom wants to win peace. Why ego feels so loud. The ego is our internal defense lawyer. It hates being wrong and it fears looking small. Modern psychology calls this ego threat, and research from Ohio State University shows that when people feel their ego threatened, they are 68% more likely to react aggressively. But here's the truth. Ego-driven reactions rarely solve anything. Instead, they often escalate conflict, damage relationships, and drain energy. Real-life story, James in the office. Showdown James, a senior developer, prided himself on being the smartest person in the room. One day, a junior colleague publicly challenged his code design, saying, "This approach is outdated." James's ego flared. He raised his voice, listed his credentials, and shut the colleague down. The result? The team stopped collaborating with him, and his reputation suffered. Months later, James read Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. He realized his victory had cost him trust. He started practicing stoicism, pausing before reacting, asking, is this about truth or about protecting my ego? His relationships improved, and so did the team's performance. The Stoic perspective, Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire filled with critics and enemies. He could have silenced them with power. Instead, he wrote in his journal, when another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they hold any particular opinion about you. For Marcus, disrespect said more about the other person than about him. Famous quotes to remember: 1. Seneca. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears, meaning life is full of challenges. Don't let ego make them heavier. 2. Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. 3. Ryan Holiday, author of Ego is the Enemy. Most successful people are not driven by ego, but by purpose. Practical exercise, the ego pause. Next time you feel offended, 1. Pause and label. Say, this is ego speaking. 2nd, shift focus. Ask, what outcome matters here? Truth, peace, or proving I'm right? 3. Choose growth. Respond with curiosity instead of combat. Example, that's interesting. Can you explain your reasoning? Do this 3 times this week. Write down how each situation ended compared to if you had reacted from ego. Data on ego-free leadership. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that leaders who practice humility and purpose over ego outperform ego-driven leaders by 25% in team performance and 33% in employee trust. Humility doesn't mean weakness. It means strength focused on progress, not pride. Key takeaway. Ego wants to win arguments. Wisdom wants to win peace. When you stop letting ego drive you, disrespect loses its sting. You no longer need to prove your worth. You simply live it. End teaser. But even with ego under control, disrespect still hurts. So how do we turn that pain into power? That's what we'll explore in part 4. Use disrespect as training. Call to action. If this Stoic lesson hits home, hit like and comment. When was your ego hardest to control? Subscribe so you don't miss part 4, where we turn every disrespectful moment into a training ground for resilience. Part 4. Use disrespect as training. Most people see disrespect as an insult. Stoics see it as a classroom. Seneca once said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Every time someone disrespects you, you have 2 choices. Let it make you bitter, or let it make you better. This is the 4th Stoic lesson. Use disrespect as training. It's not about loving disrespect. It's about using it to grow unshakable patience, focus, and inner strength. Why training through disrespect? Work's modern neuroscience calls this stress inoculation, exposing yourself to controlled discomfort so you become resilient in real crises. A 2020 American Psychological Association study found that people who practiced reframing negative experiences improved emotional resilience by 45%. Stoics practiced this long before science caught up. They wore cheap clothes on purpose, walked barefoot, or imagined losing everything, not because they were pessimistic, but because they wanted to be mentally unbreakable. Real-life story, Lisa and the customer from hell. Lisa, a cafe manager, once faced a customer who shouted, "You're terrible at your job," in front of a full store. Old Lisa would have cried or argued. But Lisa had been practicing stoicism. She took one deep breath and thought, this is training for patience. She calmly offered a solution, and the customer left satisfied. Later, the staff said, "How did you stay so calm?" Lisa replied, "I treat disrespect like weightlifting. It hurts at first, but it makes you stronger." Within a year, Lisa was promoted to district manager because she handled stress better than anyone else. Historical example. Marcus Aurelius and the insult. Marcus Aurelius often dealt with disrespect from political rivals, critics, and even his own family. But instead of anger, he used it to practice virtue. He wrote, "When someone does wrong, it is because they judge it right. Show them gently their error, but bear with them if they refuse, because you too are often mistaken." This mindset turned disrespect into moral training, patience, empathy, and wisdom, all forged in the heat of conflict. Famous quotes. 1. Epictetus. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about things. 2. Viktor Frankl. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. 3. David Goggins, modern endurance athlete. Suffering is the true test of life. How to turn disrespect into training. 1. Reframe the event. When someone disrespects you, don't think, this is an attack. Think, this is training. This is my opportunity to grow. 2. Identify the virtue being tested. Are they testing your patience, your self-control, your clarity? This reframing shifts your brain from emotional reaction to strategic growth. 3. Practice the Stoic view from above. Imagine yourself from 30,000 feet above, looking down. In 1 week, will this insult matter? In 1 year? Usually it won't. That perspective reduces emotional weight instantly. Mini case study, sports coaching. A professional soccer coach once told his players, if you can't handle one angry fan screaming at you, how will you handle 50,000 in a stadium? He intentionally played recordings of boos during practice. The result? His team reported 25% improved focus under crowd pressure and won their division. Similarly, every disrespectful person you meet is like that angry fan, a chance to practice under pressure so real life feels easier. Practical exercise, disrespect journal. For the next 7 days, 1. Write down one disrespectful event each day, no matter how small. 2. Identify the virtue tested, patience, courage, self-control. 3. Write one sentence of growth. Because of this, I am stronger at virtue. At the end of the week, read it back. You'll see how every insult turned into a training rep. The science of mental reframing. Stanford University research shows that people who reframe stress as growth improve performance by 33% compared to those who see stress as purely negative. This means your ability to grow from disrespect isn't just philosophical, it's backed by data. A modern quote to live by Ray Dalio, billionaire investor, once said, pain plus reflection equals progress. Disrespect is pain. Reflection is your tool. Progress is the outcome. Advanced practice, voluntary discomfort. Stoics often practice voluntary discomfort to stay strong. Wear less comfortable clothes for 1 day. Skip a luxury meal. Take a cold shower. When disrespect happens, it feels less shocking because you've already trained your mind to endure discomfort voluntarily. Call to action. If you're ready to turn pain into power, hit like right now. Comment below. What's one disrespectful moment you'll use as training this week? And subscribe so you don't miss the final lesson, where we talk about walking away with wisdom, not weakness. Part 5. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. People often confuse walking away with weakness. In truth, it is one of the highest forms of wisdom and self-control. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, the best way of avenging yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, even after you've owned your reactions, set boundaries, and used disrespect as training, there comes a time to stop arguing and start exiting. This isn't about giving up. It's about protecting your peace and your future. Why walking away is powerful. A 2018 University of Toronto study found that people who chose to exit toxic relationships rather than fight to change them reported 41% higher life satisfaction and 33% lower stress levels within 6 months. Why? Because walking away frees you from cycles of negativity and opens space for healthier opportunities. Seneca put it perfectly. Associate with people who may improve you. If someone persistently disrespects you, they are not improving you. Your energy is better invested elsewhere. Real-life story. Daniel and the toxic partnership. Daniel, a small business owner, had a partner who constantly belittled him in meetings, rejected his ideas, and took credit for his work. At first, Daniel tried all the Stoic steps. He paused his reactions, lesson 1. He set boundaries, lesson 2. He managed his ego, lesson 3. He used disrespect as training, lesson 4. But the disrespect didn't stop. It escalated. One day, Daniel made the hardest choice of his career. He walked away and built his own company. 2 years later, his new business was twice as profitable, and he said, leaving wasn't weakness, it was growth. Historical example, Cato the Younger. Cato the Younger, a famous Stoic statesman, was known for his integrity. When the Roman Senate became corrupt beyond repair, he chose to step away rather than compromise his values. His exit was a protest against corruption, a reminder that sometimes silence and absence speak louder than confrontation. Famous quotes 1. Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. 2. Epictetus. Keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. 3. Warren Buffett. You can't do good business with a bad person. How to walk away with wisdom. 1. Know when to leave. Ask yourself, is this situation consistently harming my mental health, values, or growth? If yes, it may be time to go. 2. Leave calmly, not explosively. Stoics taught, act with virtue even when leaving. Don't slam doors. Instead, communicate clearly and respectfully. I appreciate the opportunity we've had, but this environment no longer aligns with my values. 3. Focus on the future, not revenge. Walking away is not about winning. It's about moving towards something better. Mini case study, social media exit. Anna spent hours on an online group where members constantly mocked her views. She argued back, tried reasoning, and even muted some users. But negativity persisted. One day she simply left the group. A month later, she reported a 25% increase in free time and 40% drop in daily stress. Time she invested in fitness and building a new online business. Walking away opened the door for growth she didn't see while trapped in arguments. Practical exercise, the walk-away map 1. List 3 relationships or environments that drain you emotionally. 2. Ask 3 questions for each. Does this situation respect my values? Is there growth here or just conflict? Have I already tried boundaries and solutions? 3. Choose one small step this week. Limit contact, say no to one request, or fully exit if necessary. 4. Journal the results. How did you feel after stepping back? The psychology of space psychologists call this strategic disengagement. A Yale study found that removing yourself from toxic situations improves long-term decision-making clarity by 31% because you stop reacting emotionally and start thinking strategically. Voluntary discomfort practice. Walking away is uncomfortable. It can mean leaving a job, a relationship, or a social circle. That's why Stoics practice voluntary discomfort, fasting, cold exposure, simple living. When you're used to discomfort, leaving something unhealthy becomes easier because you don't fear temporary pain. Key takeaway. Walking away is not quitting. It's choosing where to win. Your time and energy are finite. Use them where respect, growth, and opportunity exist. Sometimes the most stoic response is to simply say, enough, putting them into action. That's what our conclusion will bring together. Call to action. If this final lesson resonates with you, hit like right now. Comment below, what's one situation you might need to walk away from? And subscribe so you don't miss the conclusion where we combine all 5 Stoic strategies into one life-changing framework. Conclusion plus call to action. The big picture, what these 5 Stoic lessons mean. You've just learned 5 timeless Stoic strategies to handle people who don't respect you. 1. Own your reaction, because the first power is self-control. 2. Set boundaries, not walls, because clarity invites respect. 3. Don't let ego drive you, because peace is better than pride. 4. Use disrespect as training, because every insult can build resilience. 5. Walk away when necessary, because protecting your peace is never weakness. Each of these isn't just a concept, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows only when you use it. Why this matters now. We live in an age of instant reaction. One tweet, one comment, one disrespectful glance can trigger days of anger or regret. The Stoics faced worse. Emperors betrayed, soldiers defected, family turned against them. Yet they built inner worlds so strong that no insult could touch them. The truth? Disrespect is inevitable, but suffering from it is optional. When you apply these 5 lessons, you choose to stop being a prisoner of other people's behavior and start being the master of your own life. Real transformation example. A follower of this channel, Anna, wrote to us, I used to snap at people who disrespected me. I lost friends, burned bridges, and felt exhausted every day. After practicing lesson 1, pause and own my reaction, and lesson 2, boundaries, I started responding calmly. In 3 months, I saved my job and improved my marriage. If Anna can do it, so can you. Practical takeaway, 1-week challenge. Here's how to make it real in your life this week. Day 1 to 2. Practice the 90-second pause when you feel triggered. Day 3 to 4. Write one boundary and communicate it calmly. Day 5. Notice when ego is pushing you to win instead of to grow. Choose peace. Day 6. Treat one disrespectful moment as training. Journal how you handled it. Day 7. Evaluate if there's one situation where walking away would bring you peace. Take one step in that direction. At the end of 7 days, you will not only know Stoicism, you will have lived it. Final Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop waiting for others to respect you. Stop wishing the world were easier. Be the example. Be the fortress. Be the calm in chaos. Because the world needs people who can stand strong when others fall apart." Call to action. If these Stoic lessons gave you value, then don't just watch. Act. Tap like to let more people discover this video. Comment below, which one of the 5 lessons will you start practicing today? Subscribe and share with someone who might need this message right now. This isn't just about one video. It's about building a community of people choosing strength over chaos, clarity over confusion, and peace over pride. So choose your mind shift. Choose your strength. And until next time, stand firm, live stoic.